Yes. Oh, there you are. Yes, sir. Look at you.
Hey. So we are live currently, guys. I'm just gonna put us on a different screen real quick. So
I can hear you. We can hear you.
let me get this.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Let me do this. Hang that up.
Shoot, you got time for 3 more casts.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I wanted to get out there so bad. I said, I bet I'll push it. I said, I bet I'll push it. All right, let's see here. Okay.
3 or 4 times just wet my lines trying to yank them up.
Right now, I just got our intro music rolling. We just chilling. They can't see us yet, but we're just behind the scenes. I'll open the curtain at 5 o'clock. But we just got our music playing right now, our intro music playing with our splash page. So we chilling.
Okay. All right. How I look? Everything look copacetic?
Yeah. Honestly, if you were facing that window, it would be better with the light in your face. But it's not a big deal.
All right. Well, the other way, I'm going to show on my bed. So
Yeah, it looks better right there.
That moment.
Yeah, you should get some of that backlight on.
Glare.
About that one moment.
Is that a Ranger chair?
Yeah. PMGs in a 17. Heavy weights the whole dream team.
Hey.
To the club, did my own thing.
All
Started
right.
in a rental, now I'm fishing for a dream machine. Thick lines plus big bass. Put them together, they all do heavy weights. I do this since back in the day when I was standing on the shore ground
All
all
right.
day.
I need to put some headphones
Taking
in.
trips down the old
Nah, as long as you can hear us,
Oh,
you're
you don't
good.
have to, as long as you can hear it.
Okay, yeah, I'm good.
Boy, Dre died. We used to fish like every single day.
I should have worn my shirt. I wonder if my shirt's clean.
Hi, guys.
So wishing all I did was follow through.
Rod's going to lead us in, so
All right.
when he's ready. I went fishing today, got my teeth kicked in.
I just did that frog tournament, man. It was tough out there.
Yeah, it looked like it.
Yeah.
We're on YouTube too. Hey.
Okay.
We're on YouTube and Twitch today. The first time we going out on YouTube today. I'm just checking all my traps, making sure everything is up.
Now, would YouTube be live or will it be recorded?
No, it's live.
So I can go on there on my phone right now?
Yeah, I'm on Rob Win Fishing.
Okay.
Cats trying to hook a 14.
About 2 minutes, fellas.
Make a bass when I cast. I'm
Addicted to the bass. I'm on their ass like they owe me.
Bass holes, we don't never sleep. Up in the AM, getting ready for my PB. Take a flick and let the haters see.
BBD, I'ma bring it to reality.
Mouth bigger than a dinner plate. They stuck
There
the
it
lane, I'ma
is.
toss me a head
Ah,
Turn it up so you
Never
can hear
snapping,
music.
always
That's what we
looking
got
up.
playing right
Give
now.
a peace sign when they see us pulling up. Yeah, I know we do the most. Bass hole, yeah, we fishing till the late close. Got about 8 poles. Gang headed to the spot, never slow mo. Good a bay, real slow. Swim bait on my tie on. Thrown in my boat. Running for a toll. If I could, I never go home. Got hella people at the lake. They must have seen the bass that I posted on my page. Looking up, hold 'em up. Ain't no other angler that be dope as us. We hooking up. Looking up. 3 or 4 times just wet my lines trying to yank 'em up. Looking for the shad and the boil up.
that's good because normally I go on Facebook Live right now, but I didn't do it this time. So that's just perfect.
So go ahead and take the volume down on those guys, on that. Todd, I'm gonna bring us in.
Okay.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the latest and greatest edition of the One Rod Todd podcast. Here, episode 4. We got a good one for y'all here today. The man, the myth, the legend, the people's champ, my man. Oh, Obedie Williams. What's up, bruh?
What's up, Big Rod? How you doing, baby? What's
Man.
up, Todd? How you guys doing, man? Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Man, oh man, unreal.
Yeah,
It don't get any better. I'm telling you, it just don't.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
So we wanted to get you on the show, man. And obviously, we've known you for some time now. You out here putting in work day in and day out up there on the Delta. You just recently come off a victory on a new format that I definitely want to get into today because a lot of guys don't know how that format worked out, and anybody can explain it. You can. I think that's going to open up some new avenues for other tournament directors and such to possibly have some new ideas for them. But let's back it up before we get to the successes and stuff because we know how it is, and people like you and myself and others, we get it from the mud, man. So tell us who is O, where's O about, where O from? Give us the rundown from the beginning, and we'll dive right into where we are today.
Okay. All right. Let's sit back, man. Thanks for having me on the show, fellas, man. Hey, shout out to everybody who's listening in, man. This is the show to be on right here, man. Good vibes right here.
Yes,
man,
sir.
Your boy named Obedie Williams, born and raised East Oakland, California. That's where I come from. I've been living up here in Discovery Bay on the California Delta now for the last 22 years. But I've been up here a long time now, almost as long as I've been out East Oakland, but so growing up in East Oakland, my dad and my uncles, they used to always come into the California Delta. We used to go catfishing, stripers and crappies and bluegills. So that's what we used to always do. My dad had an old blue boat we used to call Old Blue. And, I used to go out there fishing one every chance I could. And he always made sure to take me fishing. And that was like huge, all the way up until I got up in age, because, the OGs, they can go out there catfish 2-3 days. And they just sit there, no music, no nothing. They just sit back taking it all in. When you're a youngster, you're like, man, after 4-5 hours, it started getting dark. I'm like, I'm ready to go home, man.
Right.
So I had to do all the fishing trips with him. Fast forward, I go to college and everything. And now, I'm playing basketball and I'm running track in college. And, I kind of stopped fishing. I mean, I used to go here and there, but not as much as I used to. And kind of faded away from it. So after college, I come back home. I'm back at my dad's house. And me and him are doing some work around the house. And he was like, help me move this aluminum boat, to the back. So we move an aluminum boat and then we reminiscing on all the stories and fun we used to have about these boats and everything. And I told him, you know what? I'm about to get back into fishing. This is like...
when was this?
This was like 97.
Okay.
97. Wow. I'm back from college. Now I'm going fishing and out there in the bay, San Pablo Dam Reservoir. They got a lake out there in Castro Valley, just little lakes, Lake Chabot, so close to my house, and I'm able to go fish for trout and catfish. And then my dad let me get the aluminum boat. I shoot up to the California Delta. Now, because I'm like, man, I'm taking my younger cousin, like, hey, man, we about to get up here and go catch some of these fish, and at the same time, back in East Oakland, all my partners is getting in trouble, locked up. It's just always some type of drama,
games,
and
all that.
Yeah, they had all the stuff that I shouldn't be into, what I was into before I was leaving fishing, just hanging around. I'm no troublemaker, but just by affiliation, we all got partners that's just wild. So, but now I'm out there fishing, and when I come back from fishing, I'm seeing everybody like, man, such and such got live, or this happened and this happened. Where was you at? Like fishing. Back then, people laughed at you if you said you fished. That was like, it was funny, but I was like, I enjoyed it. I used to always go fish. And then my grandmother, she was like, you know what? You need to start saving some money up to move up out of Oakland because it's just getting too dangerous. I'm saving up to get a house. I'm headed up to the Delta one time trying to find a new fishing area. I get lost, me and my cousin, trying to find some new water. I stumbled across this place called Discovery Bay out here that's on the Delta. And I was like, oh my God, they got homes on the water out here? Like, oh, this is crazy. And it's like 45 minutes from the Bay Area. So I told my grandmother, I was like, I found a spot, because my grandmother, man, she blessed her heart, man. She was the best. She was like, she didn't charge me no money, me and my wife, to stay with her and everything. And she was like, she said, just save up enough money to get you a house. So me and my wife, we saved enough money. I moved out to Discovery Bay on the water. And now, me and my family, we catfishing and everything and striper fishing. And this guy that stayed on the end of my block, one morning I'm out striper fishing out the dock. He rolls up and he drops off this plastic frog to me. And he was like, man, the bass, it said the bass is choking this frog. And I was like, what the heck what is it? I never caught a largemouth bass in my life. You know, I'm 20, 25, and I'm like, bass. So, you know, it's before the internet day. So I had to like go look up Bill Dance and see what was happening. Like, watch Bill Dance and the Al Linder show and like
Jenny Houston and such.
Bass. Yeah, you know, the old school, you had to go get old school VCR tapes from somewhere, or somebody handed you one off, and you be like, oh, okay. So I go out there, I say, I'm gonna try this largemouth bass fishing, because they like, you know, the California Delta is a special place for largemouth bass. So I get out there, fish a couple of times, I couldn't even catch one. And I was like, oh man, this is ridiculous, man. Let me get back to my crappie fishing and my catfish. I throw some chicken liver out there, man. I'm for sure gonna get bit. Y'all talking all these plastic worms and frogs and stuff. So me and my cousin, he was like, I'm telling him, I'm like, but I can't catch him, man. He said, so let's go out there. So we go out one day, we fish, and I said, I told you 2 hours went by, we didn't get bit. So man, I don't even know what they talking about. And we were throwing these the white flukes. My cousin threw out there and little 2 young. I was like, oh my God. Like, what is this? What's just happened? Once he caught that one, I was bit. I was like, oh, okay.
This is it
so
right
now,
here.
Yeah, this is it right here. So, you know, but at the same time, I'm still, you know, I fish, but at the same time, I'm still hanging out. You know, I'm San Francisco, I'm Sacramento, kicking it. We turning up everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm like, every party, every function, they're like, where's Obedie? Where's Obedie? So my other cousin who I used to kick it with, he like, he fish now. Nobody see him. Like, if you don't fish, you're not seeing this guy. So now I start bass fishing. I'm bass fishing, and I'm learning. And I have an old school aluminum boat. Went to Walmart, got me a troll motor and a battery. You know, I'm trolling around, just throwing worms around. I end up catching a couple of bass, right? Now I'm catching like 3-pounders at this point, but in my mind, they 7-pounders. Yeah. So right. I'm out there, I'm fishing. Now I say, you know, this guy pulls up on me. And he goes, man, I always see you out here in this aluminum boat fishing. He said, you should join a bass club. And I was like, a bass club? He was like, yeah. He said, I got a good one for you. So he gave me the number to this bass club called Bass Anglers of Northern California called Bank. You know, and that's where Mark Daniels Jr. started, Ishmael Rowe, like a lot of the guys. Eric, if you fish the Delta, you know about Bank. So I get out there and I'm like nervous. The first tournament I ever fished, they had one at Clear Lake. Now, at the same time, my this lady I knew said, hey, out there in Oakland by the airport, they have an auction for cars, but they got 2 bass boats, because I used to see her at work and I said, tell her, like, man, I need to get one of these bass boats, you know, but my money is funny right now, but you know, I just need one. She was like, man, I saw at the auction, it was 2 of them. So I'm like, for real? So I smack down to the auction. Woo! I get down there, woo, woo, woo. You know what I'm saying? I smack up to the auction. I'm like, okay. I have $1,500 in my pocket, right? So they had one cool, like an old school Ranger. Now to me, I'm like, oh my God, if I had that, I'm killing them. But there was this other dude. He was like, oh yeah, I think my brother might like this. So he started bidding with me. And I'm like, man, I fish. You don't even do this. You know, in my mind, I'm like, so it get up to, I got $1,500. It get to $1,500. I look him in the eye. He go, 16. I'm like, oh man. Hey, but I was so mad. I was like, 17. I was just so mad. And then he said 18. And I was like, man, he got the boat. So I was like, man, but it was like, hey, and so everybody around the crowd was like, they felt bad for him. They was like, hey, there's another boat over here. So it was an older, like tracker boat. So I was like, oh, heck yeah, cool. So we get over there. They was like 500. So I'm like, oh, get this for a deal. 500, man. Some old man comes like, oh, I like that boat. Man, this dude bidded it all to $1,000 until some lady was like, this kid just missed that other boat. You better let him have that boat. So he was like, fine. He gave me the boat. I took that boat out. They said it was a tournament up at Clear Lake. I grabbed the wife and the kid. I said, I'm about to go out there now. Mind you, I'm catching 3-pounders on the Delta thinking I'm catching 7-younders. So in my mind, I'm about to go show these guys how to bass fish. Come on, yeah. So I get there, I roll up. They got like 70 guys there. I'm seeing guys in wrap boats and stuff. I'm like, oh, this is serious around here. Like, I'm like, guys got jerseys. I'm like, they off of fishing. Like, this is my first time actually really seeing a tournament. So I'm like, all right, they all knew each other and everything. I kind of kept to myself because I'm thinking I'm big shit. I'm like they about to see what I don't let my fish talk for me. So we get out there, we got there Clear Lake. I get a little tracker. Man, we came around, was that Henderson Point or whatever over there?
Oh.
That wind kicked up. Oh man. I started taking spots like water, man. I had to turn the tracker around. I was like, oh my God, I get to a bank. I said, oh my God, that was treacherous out there. This is crazy. So I'm like, all right, let me just start fishing. Now, when I was catching them, now on the Delta, I was catching a little jerk bait. That was like my bait back here. So I get there with the jerk bait, like, oh, okay, now it's time to show them. Jerk bait. Oh, I catch like a 3-pounder. In my mind, a 5-6 pounder. Catch another one like 2 pounds. I'm like, all right, that's about a 5. Catch another 2. That's like another 5. That was all like fish, right? So I'm like, that's cool. 2 5s and a 7. That's still enough to let them come. When
17
I come
pounds.
back, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna come back. They gonna bow down to me. You know what I'm saying? So it's a sheriff in town. You know, so I get in line. I got my bag, and I was like, yeah. And I'm looking in the line like, this the line? They was like, yeah, you're standing in line. You gotta wait. So I see them pull out the weight. So I'm like, all right, cool. So we getting there. I'm in line. And there was a dude, 2 guys in front of me. There was a guy, 2 guys in front of me. And he go, somebody said, man, you got 2 good ones. And he was like, yeah, I got a good one. And then he opened the bag and pulled out a real 7, 8 ounce. All right. I tapped the guy in front of me. I said, excuse me. And then he was like, yeah. I said, what's that? He just pulled out the bag. I never saw a bass that big. He was like, oh, that's a largemouth bass. I was like, they get that big? He was like, yeah. I got out of line and then put my little fish back into the water. I looked at the wife. I said, I got a lot of work to do. Jumped into the truck. Whoa, all the way back to the house. and that was like the beginning of, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. I want to do this tournament fishing, And at the same time, while I was learning doing tournament fishing, and then that's when Ripping Lips was born. Now I go to phase 2. I can go take y'all to phase 2.
Take
phase
us there.
Yeah, okay, so now Ripping Lips is born, right? Now I'm doing little videos. This is back before the internet. I'm doing DVDs. So I started making my DVDs. I go out there fishing. I'm keeping the positivity, letting everybody know, because now I can go to Clear Lake. I'm learning a couple of things about bass fishing, throwing Cincos and little. I don't know much, but I'm kind of staying in my lane because I saw how I didn't want to get in the Ripping Lips talking about bass fishing, and I didn't know everything about bass fishing, So I just kind of said, what's my angle? My angle is just the positivity that, hey, man, I'm a young brother from East Oakland, and I could have went the other route, but I'm out here fishing.
Yeah, good vibes. Yeah,
good vibes. So if this helps the next guy or the next kid that's in that situation, and he don't want to be around all that stuff, and he don't know what to do, man, grab you some rods, because most likely there's a place to fish right around you. So that was my whole thing. Like, man, I'm about to get kids who want another option, something else to do. This is what they're going to do. And they're going to see me and check out this positive vibe and going to want to have a good time. So I'm like, that's my angle. So I'm making DVDs, and I would show up to these ramps, and they have big tournaments. I'm taking the DVDs, putting them in the back of people's truck. Then I go to the tackle store, and I drop off like 50 or 100 DVDs, and be like, here you go, all the tackle stores. So then that's how my name start kind of ringing around here. They're like, man, this dude putting out some videos, and and then people start knowing, like, who's this guy that's putting videos in people's trucks and at the tackle store and everything. And I like him. So I'm like, so my brother, he comes to live with me every summer. He comes down, and then I'm gonna let him watch the DVD. I said, that's a new DVD, because I made like 8 or 9 DVD versions of them. So he was like, man, you need to put that on YouTube. And I was like, YouTube? He said, man, it's this new thing that just came out. People putting their videos on there, and you can watch the videos, man. And I was like, for real? He was like, yeah, I got an account. You can just put it on my account. And his account, youngster, even younger than me. So his account was called Pimperazzi. Right? So the early start of Ripping Lips, like the first 10 years, it was Pimperazzi. So
Pimperazzi.
So I put the video on, and then the next day it had like 50 views, and then somebody put, man, I like your video, and I was like, oh, this is sick. Like, okay, so I kind of like, man, thanks. And every day, more views, more people commented. So then I'm like, oh, this is what I do now. So I kind of like really kind of got off the tournament thing. Now I'm like, oh, this is my lane. I'm gonna just make these videos. So it was funny when I started doing the videos. I was like, I don't want to keep making videos and it's just me. I was like, I want to kind of develop a team of people so I can just take a spotlight off of me and I can shine light on others. So,
and also they can also help deliver content as well. So you're not having to create all the content as well.
So my thing was, I said, man, I actually said, Lord, on this adventure here, I feel like you about to take me places and show me people that's just going to inspire me all the way through. And I thought this, and people just start popping up in my life to fish. That was just like, I meet my guy at Hit Rock. And this was a dude from East Oakland who he was about that life, you know, and he used to hang out with my cousin. So when I first started doing crappie videos, I should tell them, like, man, I'm catching 100 crappies a day. I'm like, man, nobody catches 100 crappies a day. That's just ridiculous. My uncle went out there, he caught 2. I'm like, nah, let me show y'all the video. So I showed the video. I had a video of me catching 100 crappies. So they always at my cousin's house. So I go to my cousin's house. I say, I put in the DVD in, and I'm catching all these crappies. They like, that little guy can show you can catch him, right? But after like the 10th crappie catch, they lost interest. So then instantly clicked to me, like, okay, the short expansion time. I need to shorten these videos up, make them kind of and then they go away, except making drawn out videos.
Yep.
So then my cousin always so funny. So I had some shirts made up that said "Rip Lips." So now I go to my cousin. I'm stunned. I put the DVD in. I'll catch 100 crappies. I got new shirt. Yeah, I'm Rip Lips. I'm Rip Lip William. So then my cousin go in front of he go. I walk in with the shirt and I go, huh? And he go, oh my gosh. Why nobody told me? And I'm like, looking at my shirt like, what? What? He was like, Hot Lips died. And I was like, what? Hot Lips? He was like, your shirt says R.I.P. Lips. Hot Lips? My guy Hot Lips died. And I was like, man, what are you talking about? And everybody's all like, ah. And I had this shirt. And I was like, oh, man.
About the hood shirts.
My wife. Yeah, I looked at it and said, man, they made fun of my shirt because it said R.I.P. Lips. And she was like, well, we'll just change it. We'll make it Rippin' Lips. So that's how I switched it from Rip Lips to Rippin' Lips. I had R.I.P.
That's an interesting story right there. That's pretty damn cool.
Yes. So out of all that, my buddy, the Hit Rock, came outside when I'm leaving. He was like, he said, man, I don't fish like you, but I love to fish, man. He said, you got me with that. He said, any way I can go fishing with you? You know, and it felt like, what was the movie with Todd Cruise? He was like, who's coming with me? Who's coming with me? That's how I felt like, who's coming with me? So my big came with me, start fishing with me. And his baby's mother's cousin was Jamon Andrews. So he tells me, hey, man, I got this guy. He fishes on the Delta. He's part of the family. He bass fish. He really know how to bass fish. And I gave him one of your DVDs and he wanted your phone number. So I was like, all right, cool. So Jamon calls me. It was like, hey, man, I got to be a part of this Rippin' Lips, man. He said, this is so sick. I was like, man, for sure. He was like, man, can I go get some DVDs? He was like, it's his other brother named Mark Daniels Jr. He fishes in the same club with me, and me and him about to do a team up as teams and start fishing the Delta. So I was like, oh man, that'd be sick. I said, because then I can come film you guys fishing the tournaments. He was like, yeah. So he give the DVDs to Mark. Like a week later, Mark calls me. Mark was like, Obedie, I was like, yeah, what's going on? He said, I'm Mark Daniels. I'm Jamon's buddy team. I was like, oh, what's going on? He said, hey, man, all weekend I watched all those movies. Me and my whole family ain't left the house. We watched all your DVDs. Mark was like, I got to be a part of this. I have to be a part of this. And I was like, oh, man, heck yeah, for sure. And he said, and we about to teach you how to bass fish. And I was like, for sure. Wow. That right when I start filming, them dudes went on a tear. Nobody could beat them on the Delta. Yes. Every time, and after every tournament, I would sit there with them, and they start talking about techniques and stuff. I couldn't even understand what they was even talking about. Oh, the SP7, the 443, the 6789, the dash 224. I said, and you know, so I'm like, but I'm starting to pick it up slowly, and I'm asking them more questions. But I'm filming all this, like not knowing like this is history. To not know, like, you know, because when when I went to Mark's house and I saw all the trophies, and then after following him and Jamon with all this the video, I was like, why are you not at the top? I'm like, why are you fishing down here with me? And he was like, oh, it's finances. Like, you got to have some money. You got to get some backing. You got to get it going. So I was like, dang, man. I was like, and at that time I said, well, hopefully what we doing here with Rippin' Lips, you know, shine light on everybody and we all shine, you know? So we start putting in more and more work. And it's funny now, Mark will talk to me and say, man, you was ahead of your time, with the content. Like, because Mark, man, I used to tell them guys, like, man, film. And they never would film. I used to bring them camcorders. Like, just film anything. And
Camcorder.
but I understand because it's so serious with the tournament fishing. And then that's what ended up happening to me. As I'm growing in YouTube and getting bigger and bigger, I'm more and more watching them do tournament fishing. Now I want to do tournament fishing because when we show up to the tournaments, everybody, man, that's Rip and Liz, man. Hey, man, can I get the autograph? Let me take a picture, and that was cool. But then the upper echelon of the Delta fishermen, the guys that was at the top, when you did good, when they passed by Mark and Jamon, it was like, tip your hat. Royalty is coming through, right. Delta royalty. And I was like, and then to me, as far as they was concerned, I was invisible. Like, you ain't putting no work in out here on the tournament scene for anybody to tip they hat. And then that's when I was like, I'm about to back off the YouTube, and I want that type of respect. I want to be one of those guys when they start talking about the top guys on the California Delta, my name is going to be brought up in that, And then from then on, I was like, every tournament they had, my thing was every circuit they had like 5-6 circuits going and like 2 type of turkey shoots going through the week. I said, I want to get a plaque, and I want them dudes to be scared of me every time I show up to any of these events. And every event, I was out there practicing every day, all the time. And then it just started. I had 2 years of getting my butt kicked. I'm out there like, man, I'm trying to learn it. And then all of a sudden, stuff just start clicking. And then it started clicking. I started getting better. And then I started winning. And then I started winning some more. And then I got to a point where I'm fishing the clubs. Then I'm like, I'm beating them up at the club level. So then I go to the amateur level. Then I took care of all the amateur circuits to where they all collectively got together and was like, Obedie can't fish no more.
You're out.
I'm out. Get him out of here. And then that was like, yes, like that was like what I was trying to accomplish. Like, you got to a level where you can't even fish those tournaments no more. But then it was like that was just one stage, because now I got to go against the Mark Daniels, the Jamon Andrews, the Harvey Pulliams, the D. Thomases, the Bobby Barracks, the Kim Malls, to be like, now I got to get to there where they like, that's that guy right there, that's him. And I just kept on working it. But then at the same time, kayaking come into my life, So now I'm
worldwide.
Okay, so I'm at the house and I'm looking in the backyard, the salmon, 20 pounds, 30 pound salmon, cruising all in the backyard. And I'm like, oh my God, they're jumping all over the place. So I get my rattle traps together, my Bill Lewis rattle traps. I'm like, oh, I'm about to go catch them. But now they're too far down the street. I didn't have my boat in front.
Too far down
so I was like, I said, oh man, I grabbed my yellow Costco kayak. I jump in the Costco kayak and I pedal down there. I get down there. I set my phone, so I'm now on Facebook and Instagram, so I'm kind of coming back a little bit. So, but I was like, I'm not doing YouTube, but Facebook and Instagram on my phone is cool for me because I can just do something real fast, and then I ain't got to do all this editing and everything else.
Right.
I get down there, I throw that rattle trap, he's pulling me all around. I'm all turning the circle with this thing, this salmon. I'm like, oh, I try to grab my phone. I'm like, look, there's a salmon. He jumps, he breaks me off. I was like, oh my gosh, that was crazy. I do a little video, posted on Facebook, and then the kayak world was like, hell yeah. Hey, getting a real kayak. Why don't you come out here and fish with us, man? We would love to have you. And I'm like, real kayak? Like, are all kayaks the same? No. Nah. Come on out here. I go out to the lake, and they bring me a fishing kayak. I was like, oh, this is player. I get in that kayak, I'm paddling. You so low to the water, man, you feel Mother Nature all around you. You like, man, hey, this is player. I have my music going. Man, I get out there, I'm fishing, I'm catching these fish. I said, this is sick, man. I said, y'all got it going on. They was like, we do tournaments too. And I was like, for real? That's all I needed to hear. I said, oh, okay. They give me the list of all the tournaments and everything. So I go fish one tournament, and somebody let me borrow a kayak to fish it. So I was like, oh, cool. I get out there, I take like second place. I'm like, all right. They was like, hey, the next one is a qualification to go to Hobie World. If you win that one, you could take a trip to Hobie World, or you can win a free Hobie kayak. They said it's gonna be 100 kayakers. We all going to Lake Shasta. So I was like, man, okay. My buddy Mike, who like prior 2 weeks earlier, bought him and his sons Ripping Lips and Yonder Gang hats, and he was like, yeah, man, we support you. Oh, man, you need anything, let me know. he hit me and was like, hey, I got an extra kayak if you're going to come up and fish the tournament. I was like, oh, for sure. So I get up there. He let me get kayak. We go out on day one. Now, with the kayaking, everything is done by, you take a picture of your fish as you on a measuring board, you measure them, and then you release the fish. And then it goes up to the scorekeeper. Everybody can look at it on their phone on the app and see what place you are, and you fluctuate and then see where you at and everything. And the last hour of the tournament, they shut it all off. I get out there day one. I have a solid day one. I come back, I'm in 17th place. My buddy Mike, who let me borrow the kayak, he's leading it. All right. Now, the funny thing is, this is my first time like looking at the scorekeeper and everything. So I get out there, I catch some good fish right off the bat. I'm sitting in like second place. All right. And I'm like, whoa, that's what I'm talking about. Then I stopped catching fish, but I'm still checking. I went to second, to seventh, to eighth, 10th, 15th, and now I'm like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. So I get the next day, I told my wife, I said, man, I'm looking at the scorekeeper. I was getting all mad. I'm falling out. She's like, tomorrow, don't even look at it. Just go fish. Just go fishing. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna go fishing. Day two, go out there. I get to my spot, little fish were there, and only end up catching 2. And I was like, oh my God, it was a 3-fish limit. So then I go to this one other spot. Nobody's there. I'm not catching nothing. So I'm sitting there now. I got my lip out like, this is it. Only got like 2 hours left. Man, I thought I was gonna catch some fish. Next thing you know, doop. And I'm like, that was a bite. Set the hook, like 3.5 spot. I'm like, oh my gosh, brings me all the way back into the game. I'm like, okay, you get that energy back now. Like, okay, let's keep fishing. Now I'm fishing extra hard. I catch 2 more fish that was solid. And I was like, man, that was a solid bag. I might be in the top 10. I was like, let me check and see where I'm at. It's like towards the end of the day, they turned it off. So I'm like, oh man. I was like, well, when I get off, guys who was watching it gonna probably say, hey, Obedie, you climbed up, you did pretty good. I'm walking through all the crowd, nobody said nothing. So I was like, I guess, they got him and I blew it. So I go into the way doing the awards and everything, and I'm sitting next to Mike because Mike did pretty good. So Mike comes back and he takes 5th place. So he's sitting next to me and I'm looking at his award and they had all his inches he had. And I was like doing the math in my head, like, I have more inches than that. So now I'm like, and I tell Mike, I said, Mike, I have more inches than you. Mike tell everybody, Obedie won. I said, I didn't say I won. I said, I have more inches than you did. So they go 3rd. They get to 2nd. And I'm like,
I ain't heard my name yet.
You're right. Did I have more inches? Did I get
love that feeling.
Did y'all get my uploads? Like, did y'all
get
Yeah, right.
So they say Obedie Williams, number 1. I said, what?
Oh my
I get up there. So before they called me, I'm looking to Mike. I said, but I don't even have a kayak still. So I asked Mike, I said, man, should I take the kayak or the trip? And he go, oh, you can always buy a kayak. You can't never do that trip. And you be representing the United States. So
I remember that.
I remember that. I remember too.
Yep. Went up there, won that. Trip of a lifetime. Best tournament I ever been on. Man, I'm sitting there representing the United States. I'm out there. Man, I can't even explain how it all felt, man. It was like sitting there like, dang, like going all the way back to where I was like, Lord, where this journey's going?
Right.
It took me to meeting all these great people, from bass boats to kayaking. Now I'm out here in Australia representing the United States. Man,
all the way from East Oakland.
All the way from East Oakland. You know what I'm saying? Like the bad kid cracking jokes in the back of the class in the principal office all the time. Right. That kid. And now I'm out there like, man. And then to come back as like an ambassador of the kayak world, because the kayak world wasn't getting no love like that. So for me to come from, everybody know, in the bass world, and then he's in the kayak. When I came back to the boat world, they had all the kayak jokes. Oh, where's your kayak at? You know what I'm saying? But it was cool. Like I didn't mind it because, like I said, when I go to the boat world, it's a bunch of guys there. And then you go to the kayak world, it's a whole different bunch of guys there, but extra cool. And I was like, kayaking was so cool and different from the boat world because you don't have to pay no gas or no oil for this kayak. It like never breaks down. Everybody camps out. When you do a boat tournament, you pull up to the spot, we all stay in a hotel. If somebody's here or there, unless you're a close, tight-knit group, and y'all stay together. But everybody, just think if it was a bass boat, like on a kayak, you camp out and everybody in the tournament is all at the same spot. Practicing and fishing the tournament. They barbecuing down there. Music is down there. Yeah. Dominoes is over here. They dancing over here. Like, I'm like, this is a straight party. I said, I could dig this, man. I could dig this. So I was able to combine the having fun with the kayak guys, and then also with the boat, which also with the ripping lips, when I kind of started, when I got with Mark and them, I was like, I'm gonna change the game, because when I used to show up to terms with Mark and them, nobody laughed, nobody said nothing, everything was super serious. And then I'm like, man, guys are spending all this money fishing all hard, and then don't catch them or whatever, and put the boat on the trailer and take off and be back at home with their lip off. And I was like, I said, I'm not doing that, man. I said, if I come out and have a good time, if I win or I lose, I had a good time.
Right.
And then it wasn't like, all this, the $300 for the tournament, the $200 for the hotel, the tackle, the gas, $1,000 I spent. I better at least at the bare minimum
had a good time.
Have a good time. It's like, because you ain't gonna last in this sport if you go just try to take it, because the competition is too stiff. You have your runs, but then you have so many times where you don't get them. And if you can't balance that out, then you're gonna be in trouble. So, and I didn't want the new kids coming up to think that, oh man, you can't have no fun in this sport, because I said, but I knew by having all this fun, I still gotta hit them in the mouth and get them in the tournaments, because if I don't and they all beat me, they be like, see, that's why you don't have fun. You see that guy, he be having fun all the time. He come out here and he lose.
Yeah, he's not focused. He's not focused.
Exactly. Like, nah, man. When it's game time, it's game time.
Right.
When we sitting at the front waiting to be called our numbers, I can chop it up and laugh with y'all. Afterwards, when it's all said and done, I did all I can do. I can sit back and have a little sandwich or a beer, or we kicking back in the parking lot. I'm with that. Because it's the balance.
And you're the same. You're the same guy. No, and that's one of the things that I've noticed about you. You're the same guy, whether it's first place or last place. And I that's the thing that I think I love about you the most, is just your positivity. And I'm thinking we probably would have had you on the show anyway. I mean, you have been just destroying it this lately, but I mean, just your positivity, you bring life. When you walk in the room, the whole room, you change. If I'm depressed, all I need is about 10 seconds of you, and my whole life changes. Just like that, man.
Thank you, brother.
And I have a story I want to share real quick. And you took me back there when you were talking about when you moved from East Oakland to Discovery Bay. I can remember, and I think we're around the same age. I'm 46. I graduated high school in '93, right? So
yep, we're the same age. Yeah.
So when I joined my first bass club in 1995, right around 94 and 95, and this club they traveled. Like, they went from here in Southern California. They was going to Lopez. They was going to the Delta. We was going to Shasta. We was doing all kind of stuff. And I'll never forget when we were going to the Delta the first time. I was fishing with this guy named Glenn Levison, who I still hang out and fish with to this day. And the talk of the time, like the talk of the whole lake back then, in my opinion, was Discovery Bay. Like, everything was like, you got to get to this. And again, this is 95. Discovery Bay was everything back then. And we were launching out of Lads. And we, come hell or high water, we was going to find our way how to get there. Because that Lads in Discovery Bay is not like down the street.
No, that's a little hike right there.
And there's a few turns mixed in. You better know where you're going. And I'll never forget, Glenn was driving, and I had the topo map out while he was driving, because electronics were not what they are right now. You couldn't just look on your map and just drive and looking at your HGS Live. We had the topo map blowing in the wind.
Right.
And I'm trying to left. No, right. No. Past that swing bridge. We all know them swing bridges that would have like all that. And I'll never forget the day we finally found it and we pulled in and we were just like, this is it. Like, I just couldn't believe that there was people who had them nice ass houses on the lake like that, and they were able to have their boats right there. And I just was like, these people got the life. And this is back then when the Delta was putting out fish. Not knocking the Delta now. No. I think you guys will all agree that it ain't nothing like it was compared to like 95.
Not even close. Like, me and my dad, we reminisce on them days up here, because you can fish off the back of your deck, catch catfish, stripers, crappies, anything you want, bass fish, 10 pounders, 10, all of them back here, just anytime you want. Now you come back here, you lucky to catch a fish. You know, and I think it's due to all that heavy spraying they're doing, especially in Discovery Bay. They do all this heavy spraying out here to kill the weeds. But what it is once they spray it, it creates this algae and it can't flow, like it flows out while it's flowing out on outgoing tide. Before it gets out, here come the tide coming back in. So it never gets to leave, and man, it got to the point where they had to put signs out telling people don't get in the water, all this stuff back here. And I don't know what they're gonna do with all this, but like you said, you are absolutely right, bro. Every year it just declined. The stripers used to run back here. Oh, you catch 30-pounder stripers back here all the time, 20 like it was nothing, like it was going out of staff. Now these guys show up if you lucky. I think it just chokes all that oxygen out here, and the fishes can't handle it.
Yeah, they don't want to be back there.
Oh, no. But the good old days, if you was around, boy, ooh, you had some fun back here.
Yeah.
Discovery Bay was one of those spots. I want to say back then, they were saying that's where the largemouth record bass came out of, was Discovery Bay. I don't know how big it was, but yeah, the record came back from back here.
Man,
sure.
it was I was happy just to be able to find it, and then we got in there, and honestly, we didn't know what to do. We didn't know what we was really doing. There was a guy who worked at Delta Bait and Tackle who had put us up on them clown rogues. I don't know when we used to the clown rattling rogue was like the deal back then. That little jerk bait and the clown color, and that bait saved our life that trip, because we definitely caught some fish on that clown rogue. But man, that Discovery Bay is I wish it was like it was back then, and I'm sure you do, being a resident there. So,
oh, definitely. But it was so crazy was I fished Discovery Bay all the time. Like, that's where I started bass fishing. And it took me a couple years before I got the confidence to even leave Discovery Bay to go figure out more parts of the Delta, and I think a lot of guys get caught up in that, especially if you don't get to fish much. If you got a spot in the Delta and you catch fish and you only get one day off to come fish, well, 9 times out of 10, you going right back to that spot to catch some fish because you want to catch some fish on your one day off.
Yeah.
I was able to be lucky enough to, when I go out there and practice now, I don't have to hit stuff the second time. I can go check here. I'm all over the Delta checking new stuff because I get to go out more than the average guy. And I use that as at my benefit to, to keep an edge on guys, because I noticed when I was winning all the stuff, I had 2 kids and they were kind of up there where I was able to fish a lot. Now I got 4 kids and it requires more of my time where I can't be on the water like I used to. And now we got all these youngsters now and a lot of guys who retired who can put more time in. So when I get beat by guys, it's a lot of times it's because they put more time in than I am. So that's when I had to tell the wife, like this year, I said, listen, I'm putting time in on the Delta. I'm not going to go to this lake, and this lake. I said, I want to win and dominate the Delta this year, because last year I went to Arizona. I was out there at Lake Havasu, the one bass. And I went to Clear Lake and Shasta and all these places. But the only place I cast a check was the Delta. I took a 4th in the Wild West, and then I took a 2nd in the Wild West Championship. Now, when I took the 2nd in the Wild West Championship, that was like letting me know, like, you put your work in, they got to see you.
Right.
And then I got back home and I told the wife, I said, I'm going to stay right here. I bought me a 2nd boat and a little runner boat. And then I started putting work in out on these guys. And it paid off this year heavy.
Yeah, and that's a perfect segue to talk about this year and your recent accomplishments from these recent tournaments. Let's dive into the tournament that you recently won with the new format, and just talk about the format. You talk about the organization, the format, and how it worked out for you, and how your days worked out for you to be crown champion.
Okay, well, New Gen Bass organization, they started that Heads Up tournament, but they also have pro-am tournaments and they have team tournaments.
Right.
So like I said, I was just strictly on the Delta. So if I was going to do any tournament this year, it was going to be in the Delta. Now, luckily this year, New Gen started a Delta series. So I fished the Delta series, and their last 2 tournaments, they had, I think it was 5. So the first 3 tournaments, my team partner was sick and he couldn't, so I had to finish. The first one, my motor was broke, so I had to stay on the trolling motor. The 2nd tournament, he wasn't there, didn't do good. 3rd tournament, didn't do too hot. The 4th tournament, me and him fished, and then that's when I really started getting into the practicing. I found some fish, we ended up taking 2nd. So I'm like, all right, cool. The last tournament they had, I found some more fish because they sprayed the area where I had the other fish. But like I said, just in the practice, stumbled across some more fish. Then we won that tournament with 27 pounds. Now, when we won it, New Gen was like, "Hey, Obedie, we got this new tournament about to come out. Heads up, you know, we would love if you could come." And Jen, who one of the owner, she was like, "If Obedie ain't fishing it, we ain't having it." You know, so
Right.
I was like, yeah. So I was like, "No, I said, I'm gonna come out here and fish it." And so then I went out of town with my family to New Orleans during the last week before a week was off. But so I get back. When I get back home, it was off limits. So now I'm looking at the rules and everything, and I'm like, okay, it's a tournament style bracket fishing. I always say like March Madness, like, you know, you got the tournament style. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm
wait, before you go further, how did they determine the matchup? Because these are one-on-one head up fades.
Right. One-on-one head up. They put everybody name who was fishing. They was shooting for 64 to end up getting, I want to say 30, 32. Yep, like 32 guys. They put everybody name in this bucket and just pulled it out one by one, and then put you in the bracket, you know. And this was so cool because you kind of know all the Delta sticks and the guys, the majority of us who we all fish kind of the same stuff. So I'm sitting here watching this on Facebook Live like everybody else is watching it. Then you got the first time of tournament where the spectators can watch and kind of see who's going to be matched up, you know, and then how far they can go. So I'm sitting there and then I'm looking at who I got and everything. I was like, that's pretty cool. And then once I see who I got, I'm seeing who everybody else has. And I'm like a fan looking at that, like, oh, that's gonna be a nice matchup right there. Like, oh, that's gonna be pretty sick. Let's see, you know. So now I'm like, I didn't get no practice. I'm telling the wife, like, man, I don't know if these fish are still in my areas. I said, but we about to go on and just wing it and see what it do. So I get out there on day one. It's 4-hour tournaments, 2 fish per tournament. You do 2 tournaments a day, 5 tournaments total to win the championship. So now we on day one. I go on my first hour, my first 4 hours, my first guy. So
let me cut you off for 1 second.
Yep.
When you had your 4 hours, okay. So who was your first matchup?
Blake Dyer, I think his name.
Okay, Blake Dyer. So when you had your 4 hours, did you look at the tide to see what was that part of your strategy? So that ain't even part of your deal. Okay.
No part of my strategy, Todd, was I hope them fish biting that spot. I
love it.
I don't care what tide. I don't care what tide we in. I'm going.
Okay.
Hey, my man D Thomas said one time I was watching the video, he was like, people put too much stock in the tides.
Okay.
So once he told me that, because I said, if I go out there and practice, I mean, the tide plays parts in it. But I know too, like, if it's a good tide or bad tide, I still got to fish these hours, you know, and I'm in the area where the fish live. And then my mindset is, and I only need 2.
Right.
So, I mean, but at the same time, I still don't know, you know, because I feel like I usually when the tides start coming to play, usually when I'm doing a 3-day tournament, because by the time like the end of the second day, I kind of got a feel of when my thing don't be more with the tides, it'd be more with the windows, you know, like I'm a window guy. Like I could be in the area all day. I'll be there 2, 3, 4 days. I'll go to this one area and try to find out when those big girls are gonna bite. What window, what time? So I'll catch a fish here, catch a fish there, and then it'll show me a window where I'll catch 2 or 3 good ones, and then the window's gone. And then I'll look at the time, and I'll look at the time, and then I'll check the tide and be like, and then I'll come back and see if I can duplicate that. And if I duplicate that during that same one, then I know, between 12 and 1, there's a window.
Big one's bite. Okay.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And I think if you can figure that out, then you can do some damage on the Delta. But it takes Delta's so mass, it takes me being in one area for a week.
Yeah.
You know, all day to check it, to be like, that's the window, that's the area, that's what they like. When I'm always on them. But this tournament here, I kind of went in like, well, before I left, I kind of knew the window. Let me kind of see if it's still kind of the same. Okay. So I get to my spot, I pull up and I'm like, well, let's see. Start fishing. I catch a little fish. Then I catch another little fish. So I'm like, well, there's fish here, but they're 2 small ones. But I'm like, well, that's a limit. Whatever. Let's keep going. Keep going. I flip into this one patch. 5 yonder come out. Dude! I said, oh, here we go. Here we go. I'm like, okay, spot, let's see. You got one more there for you? No, I'll take that. That wasn't 5. That was a 4. It was like 4 and some change on that one.
Okay.
Keep fishing, like 10 more minutes, another 4 and some change come out. And I said, oh, 2 4.5s or 2 4.25.
Right.
I said, that's gonna be hard to beat. I leave my other spots alone, and then I leave. I still have like 2 hours left. I drive around looking for other stuff because now I'm like, I need to have backup. If these spots don't work, I need to have some type of backup. Go to my back, try to find some. I still ain't find none. I come back. Still, I'm nervous because, catching 2 4.5s, that's good, but you still just don't know. What if you got a 10? Right. You just never know, Yeah. So I get back, and then I see him as we pulling in, and then Blake said, you get him? Oh. And I was like, I got 2 solids. He was like, I got 2 rats. And I was like, oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Those were your smallest 2 fish, right? Weren't those your 2 smallest? Unreal.
Yep. So I had like 8 and some change. So I was like, all right, cool. Then we're going into the second one. Gosh, I forgot the guy's name who I had on my the second one. So,
but this is all in the same day though, right? You guys come in.
Same day. So once I weighed those fish in, I had an hour just to relax before I go back out there to fish the second tournament for the other 4 hours, which is a whole different tide and everything. In the morning it was high tide. When I came back in the evening, it was low tide. Okay. So I'm like, all right, well, we're gonna see. I get back to the spots on the low tide. Man, I had this other spot. They was, oh my gosh. As soon as I get up in there, I throw the whopper plopper on the side. Blah, 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 blah. Wow! 5 younder come out. I'm like, oh yeah. Get him in there. I'm throwing that around some more. Nothing. I'm like, all right. As soon as I put that down, I pick up the big stick, flip in there. Dude, another 5 and some change come out. I'm like, oh my God, this is not happening. I was like, that's 2 5s right there. I'm like, okay, cool.
Ball game.
Now I'm like, got another 2 hours to spare. Go drive around, find some more stuff just in case. I'm looking at the clock like, I wish this was over, man. I'm ready to go weigh these fish now. I get back. My guy was like, oh, do you get them again? And Ish was there. Ish was like, you got 2 more solids? I said, I do. Now they saw 2 4s. I come out with 2 over 5. Wow.
Yes, sir.
I'm like, this is crazy. So I win that one in the day up. Now, now we're going into Sunday. Now it's starting to, on my side of the bracket, it was heat. Like Ish was out there, Christian, like it was heat over there. So now I'm going against Christian. And he been catching, he a guide out here. He catches them. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You talking about Ostrander?
So now I'm like, I can't even sleep that night. I'm thinking about like, Spot, I just need 2 fish. Come on, Spots. Get out there. I see Craig. I'm like, all right. I drive out there. Woo. I go to the spot. I go back to the second spot where I caught the 2 5s. I said, man, let's just see. Man, as soon as I get there, 6 younder come out. I said, oh, man, here we go. I keep fishing, nothing. I'm like, all right, drive to my other spot. Woo, hit other spot, start throwing some stuff around, flip up in there. Dude, another 6 or some change. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, oh my God, yes. Put them fish in there, go fishing again, just looking for stuff. Whole time I leave and go fish, I'm catching these fish all day long. So it's kind of letting me know too that keep sticking with your plan because it's tough out here. And then I'm checking everybody else weights and what they bring in. Like, they're not catching them like that. But on day 1, like Ish caught like a 10. Whole caught like a 10. So I'm knowing like I'm never safe, but I'm good. I come back with that. I beat Christian. Christian was like, like, okay. And I was like, oh my God. So then Tanner beats out Ish Monroe. So I'm like, all right, but Tanner, he been catching them too. So I'm like, but he can't, but that last bag was small, him and Ish. So I'm like, he losing fish. And what I found out, what I'm starting to think is the evening bite is even tougher on everybody when it gets better for me in my spots. So I'm feeling against Tanner, like he has to get lucky because now I'm just on full confidence. I mean, I got a couple spots now that I rotate these spots, they giving me big fish. I get back out there against Tanner. I'm going out there with Tanner. So now if I beat Tanner, I go into the championship. But they had two. Now they said the last two tournaments, you have marshals on the boat. Cool. Mm-hmm. I get a guy named Mark. He's like, Obedie, I'm your marshal. You know, I'm a big fan, man. He said, I just want to watch the magic show. I was like, sit back. You about to watch a magic show, baby. I get to the spot. I go back to the same spot. I flip up in there. 6 younder come out. I said, oh my gosh, man. Keep on fishing. Not like 15 minutes later, I catch a 5. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, and then he's sitting there like, we've been here like 30 minutes. Now I tell you, my backup boat is a Bayon. It has 150 horse on it. It go 40 miles an hour. It's a 1984. The live wire timer don't work, so I got to keep turning on, turn it off, and putting ice. And then they're rocking the fish to sleep the whole time. While I'm fishing, I got to do all this stuff. Carpet is flying all off the boat. Like, everybody's passing me. But I'm just like, all I got to do is get to the spot and get back. I get there. Now I catch these 2. I got like, because when I went against Christian, I had 12 something. I want to say this bag was 11 something.
1148, I think it was.
Okay. Right? So now I'm like, Mark, he looking at me like, we only been here 30 minutes. Took you like 40 minutes to get here. You cut these fish in 30 minutes. And then I was like, and that's that. And then we drove off. And then I said, I got to manage these fish if I'm going to win. I'm like, and I'm looking like, that should take me to the championship. Still not knowing, but I'm like, just playing the odds. Mathematically, I should go. I come back, Tanner only had 1 fish. And I'm like, see, that's letting me know. Because say if I thought he was going to do better and I had to beat these areas up, championship, I could have had nothing. But this is the gamble I got to take for this tournament. And it's like so stressful because I don't know if I should lean on these spots harder or is this enough? And then by that time, I'm just telling myself like, hey, it got you this far. Just keep sticking with your guns. Because if you can pass this one, you can lean on all them spots tomorrow in the championship hard. Right. Come back, win that one, going to the championship. I'm like, all right, cool. Still, the championship, I'm going against a guy named Andy. Now, my thinking is, you made it to the championship, so I can't take you lightly. I don't care what you.
And we're talking about Andy Dunda. Andy Dunda, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I say, you here, buddy. So I got to go. So now my marshal on this day is Newton, the owner of it. Newton. Yeah. So I'm like, even better because now I know the weights I'm putting up. Everybody out there like, man, come on, man. This guy's having over like a 6-pound average of fish coming back. Yeah. You know, so I said, nah, come on out here with me. This is even better. So he comes out there with me. We get there. I get to the spot. I'm fishing. Nothing. I'm fishing. Like, oh my God. Water is higher. It's colder. I haven't got a bite yet. Now I'm starting to worry. I get bit. I miss them. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, we came too far. We can't lose this. Like, now I'm like, I'm stressing on them. I'm stressing. Dude, there we go. I catch a 4-pound, 4.5. And I'm like, oh, okay. All right. Calm me down a little bit. Calm me down. All right. Keep fishing. Dude, 5 younder come out. All right. That's 9. Like, okay. But I'm like, let's keep fishing though, because I want to make sure.
Bring it.
Yeah, now I don't have to leave. Let's keep fishing. I keep fishing. Dude, 6 younder come out. No. I get the net, falls in the water. He hang. I'm like, come on, get in the net. I get up in the net. I'm like, yeah. Dude, he's filming back there. He like, what the hell is happening? Yeah. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. Throw a 4.5 back in the water. He said he's throwing 4.5 back in the water. Yeah. So now I'm fishing. We fishing. I'm like, all right, we got like 30 more minutes fishing. Dude, one that came in 5 younder. I pull out 5 and I grabbed the other one. The other one was a little bit over 5. And I took up here and I said, I'm throwing 5s back now. He's like, oh my gosh. He said, I didn't see it all. And then we rolled back in. And then I'm like, oh my God, like, yes. Like I had like 11 something. I'm like, that's what I need. I get back. And then Andy, he comes in, he parks behind me. And then Andy go, yeah, I need 2 bags. I said, oh no. oh no, did he do what I
Oh.
think he might have did and got a 10 and something, you know, and a 4? So I'm like, oh my gosh. We get up there, we don't let us see each other or what our bags look like. So I'm trying to see if he walk by, I need to look in the bag and see, you know, but I couldn't see this. So he get up there, he goes first, he pulls it out. His big fish was like a 5 or a 6 or something like that. And then he had a regular side that he ended with 8 something. And once they said 8 something, then I knew. I said,
he's on Done Deal Records.
you already know.
He just got signed to Done Deal Records.
Yeah. And I was like, yes, like I won like the big one. Like, yeah, like the first one, the big one. The some of the sticks was out there.
Yeah.
Like,
Isn't this the inaugural one too? This is the first one they did like this, right?
That's the first one. Yep. The first one they put in. And then that put me in at winning 4 in a row on the Delta. So now I was like, on top of winning 4 tournaments in a row, I win the big tournament, and it was just like, wow.
Yeah.
All that work I put in. Now it's like, it felt like it all came full circle together, you know, and then all the love everybody gave me, man. And then for this type of setup, all the fans got to watch and send messages.
Right.
I saw the comments you rooting for. Yep. You said like to see all that. And every day I get to look on my phone and people like, good luck. I'm rooting for you, man. Like, man, like, man, this is a different type of feeling from fishing that I like, you know, and then I'm looking, man, it was amazing, but so stressful. And I was just so happy everything worked out. Those fish, like to me, I told him, I said, yeah, put my name in the record books with those type of weights. I said, it's going to be a while for anybody to beat those, man.
Yeah,
average fish. Well, that's crazy. That's crazy.
And I know we told you before, man, but congratulations on that again, man. That's a great accomplishment.
Yeah.
Way to represent, you know, all the way around the inaugural champion of the new gen. I'm gonna call it the head up fade, because, you know, you take a fade out there, you know, head up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You got to take that fade. So, you know, that's what was the prize on that? What did you get for the winning?
7,000.
$7,000. So that's a good little payday that keeps.
Oh man, was it?
And especially when you tournament fishing, and you know, anytime you can make enough money to pay for your trip, I think most of us are happy. But we always want to make some money, of course. But if you're making money to pay for your whole trip, and then you can also put some money on down the line, maybe get that boat fixed a little bit, or whatever it may be, you know, some family time, you know, family vacation, man. That just makes it all worth it, man. And you know,
I think every fisherman who wins some money, every time you go spend that money, or you with family or your wife, and they're like, oh, thank you, dog. Thank the fisherman, baby. They wanted you to have that. I come back home, I say, hey, babe, the fisherman wants you to go get your nails done and your hair done. They said they gonna pay for everything.
Right. Oh, really?
Yeah, really. Hey, for all married guys, man, that's how you keep fishing, baby. Don't put that money in your pocket. You gotta spread that around.
No, you definitely do. That gets you to the next tournament, man. You know, so many times.
Exactly.
It's just the little things that you could just show her just a little bit, chip her off a little bit from that, and that's gonna give you a hall pass to the next one. Man, it ain't nothing better than having your wife being your biggest fan. You know, because when you had those tough days. When you had a tough day, missed fish, whatever the case might be, super close, and you just kind of down on yourself, when you come home and the wife and the kids and everybody's happy to see you, man, it brings you all the way back. You can forget all about that tournament. Like, you've been gone for 2-3 days, you know, you get home, you see your family, you just like, all right, it's all good. We'll get them next time, or when the wife and the kids tell you, you'll get them next time. Your time is coming. Like, I tell people, like, man, but that's just me keeping the balance. You know, I can go fishing out all week. I'm gonna make sure the weekend or one of these days that I take you out, or me and you go do something, or I'll put a couple of dollars together so you can go do something. So we both are excited and happy and doing something, and you know, and it helps me be more stress-free when I'm out there fishing. You know, like I said, my wife's my biggest supporter. You know, like I say, anything I need, I could be on the water broke down. She trying to figure out how to get me off the water. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can make one phone call and she there to help. And she wanted me to do good. And you know, that there kind of helped me, especially this year, me sitting her down, telling her, like, listen, I'm gonna be on that Delta a lot this year. You know, it's like, but the Delta owes me. You know, like, that's something like I put a lot of work in. I'm due. And if I want my name to be in the upper echelon when they talk about the greats of the Delta, this is what it's gonna take. And then for all this that, like, I got 7 wins this year, 2 second places. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like wow. I didn't even think that, you know, I was looking for 1 win, you know, last year. 7?
then it's like, whew, okay. And the year not even over yet. You know,
Right.
so, yeah.
So what is what do you have on your radar for what's next? Obviously you fresh off a championship, but you know we can't rest our laurels on the past. You're obviously looking to keep grinding out there, keep making a name for yourself. So what's on the forecast for Big O?
Man, well, right now everything's kind of coming down to an end. September they have the Wild West Pro-Am. I'm really gonna try to put. I don't have a first place in the Wild West yet. I'm gonna try to see if I can make that happen this year on the Delta. I'm gonna put some work in. Everything else, like next week they have the Snag Proof Frog Tournament. I might jump up in that. I got to see how I feel.
Frog tournaments are brutal, bro. Like as much as people try to like glorify them and say, "Let's go fish a frog tournament." I'm gonna be honest. Like I don't really enjoy it as much as some others. And first of all, it has to do with the heat because it's always in the summer. I'm not a big fan of fishing in extreme heats. And then it's also a certain amount of concentration that you have to have aside from just general fishing, because you have to watch that frog all day.
It's like sight fishing.
Yeah,
it's like sight fishing
all day. And it's mentally draining in that
it's
heat,
a lot.
watching that frog all day, keeping your composure because you can't set the hook, too early. There's a lot that goes into them frog derbs, man. And
I'm not the frog tournament's biggest fan. I tell you that because first of all, I don't throw frogs like that. I mean, I throw them when I feel like there's an area. Let me throw this frog around, but to throw it for the whole entire tournament. Oh my goodness. And then they said 200 boats, 400 guys, 400 frogs being thrown out there.
Right.
Man, the bite be tough for 99% of us. It's a lot. It's it was one of those things on this one here. I just fished the UFC frog tournament they had over the weekend. And the only reason I fished it because I stopped fishing them. Like just for the reasons you said, it's just too much. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. But my buddy Greg Blanchard, last year, he was like, oh, let's just go fishing, then we can film it and just make it a show. And I was like, that's cool for the fans. We go out there and me and him, people can see us together and everything. So that was cool. And that the last year one, we didn't do too hot, but shit, it was 70,000 views on YouTube, So he was like, let's try to do 100 on this one. So I'm like, all right. So now this is just became me and his thing. But then guys like, you gonna come back to next week to fish the next frog tournament? I'm like, nah. Oh, man, that's a lot, man. That's a lot. I got a couple kayak tournaments they got cooking that's coming up. I might jump in, but like right now, it's kind of all the big ones on the Delta are kind of done. They got the Mike Vaughn Memorial Tournament. Shout out to Tony Vaughn and the family. They have a nice tournament. They're gonna have that. What is that? Is it this month or next month? This month. I want to say this month, August. They got the Mike Vaughn, but like I said, that's just a memorial tournament. Good. It's like a family tournament. But the big stuff on the Delta, I kind of like wrapped it up for the most part.
That's what's up.
But I said, if something pop up, somebody try to throw a tournament out here with some money, best believe your boy gonna be right there. The Black Scarecrow.
Quick question. And I'm trying not to clown, but do you give Greg Blanchard any advice?
Hey, no, for real, yeah. Like that's why we were so cool, because when the guy who I said, Mike, who let me borrow the kayak when I won the championship to go out to Australia, his crew was called the Dark Horse Crew, Dark Horse Division. Okay. So I was like, man, you done showed me so much love and I'm in the kayak world. Let me be down with your crew. He like, all right, cool. He says, me, my boy Obedie, and he said, Greg Blanchard, Greg Blanchard? I was like, no, he said he do videos on YouTube. Now he's starting to get his build up during that time. So I was like, oh, okay. He said, you're gonna meet him at the next tournament. So when I meet Greg, we just kind of hit it off because Greg was like, man, I'm a fan of what you done did. I done watched your videos, YouTube, when I was younger and everything. So I was like, oh, that's what's up. And then I started watching him doing his filming stuff and everything. And I was like, man, that's pretty cool, man, that you doing all that stuff. And then and I said, man, I started watching this video. I said, man, you doing your thing right. And then he was like, oh, you got a big following. You need to, come with me and let's do a show.
Okay.
All right. So me and him started doing shows together and everything. And then it started popping. People he brought me back to YouTube, Nice. And for that, when we started fishing on the Delta, I was able to be, he asked me questions. Oh, what about this? Because one thing with me, I can count on my hand how many people actually took fishing on the Delta. Like I'm kind of pretty secretive with all my stuff. And he was one of the ones that, I led into my world and was like, hey, this is what I do. This is how I do it, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, this is what you can show. This is what you can't show. you know,
Yeah.
and he's so nice and so respectable. I mean, we just became good friends, you know, after that.
Okay.
Like I said, and I helped him as far as Delta fishing and all that. And then he helped me, Obedie Williams, and Ripping Lips come back from starting from YouTube, falling off of YouTube to do the tournament scene, to now coming back on the YouTube.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
And shout out to Greg Blanchard. We definitely gonna try to get him on the show.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna let him know that, you know, he got to come make this appearance. Yeah, that's the guy you guys got to have on there, man.
So you also
Absolutely.
and you also mentioned, you know, the Yonder Gang and, you know, Ripping Lips. Share with us, how can people get some merch, or how can they get in touch with you? Drop your socials, drop your merch.
Yeah.
Just get it off.
Yeah, for sure, man.
sir.
Hey, I'm the originator, the Don Dada of Ripping Lips. Everybody else after that is no. I was doing Ripping Lips before the YouTube. And if you look back,
Yep.
I was one of the first fishing shows on YouTube. You can date my stuff all the way back.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
and I started Ripping Lips. I started pressing my own shirts up. I started my own company. I was the one of the dudes that did it independent. And I'm, you know, showing my shirts and the hats and everything, and hoodies and towels.
And robes.
The robes, exactly. I made the robes stuff famous. So, and I always had the slang, you know, the younders, the muffin tops, the belly shirts. I just always kept that in my video, and people just loved it. You know, it was just, to me, it's like, man, when you're going out there with your friend fishing, it's just some more fun stuff. Because when me and my partners go fishing, this is what we do, and we be having so much fun and like, and, you know, doing all this laughing stuff. So I always used to say younder, right? So when Mark made it big and started fishing with Jacob Wheeler and all those guys over there, Adrian and Bean and all them, DC. Mark brought my lingo to them, and Major League Fishing and all that stuff.
And they saying it live.
Man, so now people hit me like, man, they on Major League saying your words, man, like that's so sick. And then for Jacob Willing to call me on the phone and be, dude, oh, we out here just catching younders and muffin toppers, and I'm like, this is crazy, you know. And then I sent them shirts and robes and everything. So you got Brian Latimer wearing my robes and Jacob Wheeler wearing my robe. Mark, like, dang. So I said I start getting more and more creative. Like, I got so much more stuff coming down the pipeline. I just got to get my finances and get time to get it done the way I want it done. Right now, I got a website, yondergang.com. If you go to yondergang.com, you can get shirts and hats and robes and stuff there. I'm still working on the new Ripping Lips line. I got some more merch coming, but stay checking up. If you sign up to yondergang.com, when I do drop new stuff, new merch, you'll be the first to get it. But I got a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. I got some stuff coming out. Me and Mark will be hooking up doing some stuff. I got a bunch of stuff I'm trying to put together. It's just, you know, it's just a lot. It's a lot, you know. Now I'm feeling like I'm kind of at stage in life now where I feel like I might be leaving more money on the table. I probably need to be trying to chase down some of these sponsors, you know, because now guys is getting some money. You know, if you put the footwork in and all that stuff, you get money off of that. But I just don't know where to start. Like, I feel like I got all the tools to do it. I just gotta get with somebody or figure it out to
it's
where
all about who you know and what they can do for you. But it's definitely easier. It's definitely easier said than done. And with that said, I just definitely want to take a minute to just shout out everybody who's been in the chat today. As you guys see me, I might be turning my head here.
Yes, sir.
I'm just reading the chat as people are, conversating. There's this dude named Catchman P said Mike Vaughn is August 21st out of B&W. So he clarified that. So the Mike Vaughn Derb is August 21st out of B&W. Just want to say appreciate everybody who's came into the chat today to check it out. Everybody who tuned into the show today. It's been a great episode, and we knew this. Todd and I were just like all week long. We like duty. Like, do you know who we got coming on the show? We got Big O coming on the show. We not gonna have to say much because I know he gonna carry the show and carry the
Knock
show.
it out the park.
You did, bro.
Knocked it out the park, bro.
If you guys
want to
check
me a fishing trip.
Yo, hey, Ty, you already know. I told you. I said
I'm coming.
in the backyard. I got houseboats sitting right there. Anytime y'all want to come down and stay,
Yeah.
more than welcome. please.
Don't
I
threaten us
got
with a
backup.
good time. Don't
Yeah,
threaten us
so-
with a good time because
I will be there. I promise you.
Please be there. You know, I keep the old boat. You can drive root beer around, man. She gonna
Root
show you a
beer.
good time. Get you them gorditas. You know what I'm saying? You see root beer driving down the desert, dude. You already know, baby. Root beer put up in the box.
Yes, sir. So, we appreciate your time, man. We ran a little over today just because you were providing such great content,
Hey.
man.
Yes,
You guys,
sir.
once
All
again,
good.
we want to thank our guest, Obedie Williams, for coming on the One Rod Todd Show. You guys can check him out on Instagram. I believe it's rippin_lips. Is that correct?
That's it. That's correct.
Yeah. So he's on Instagram under Rippin' Lips. Make sure you look for him. He is the OG. As he stated, he is the OG Rippin' Lips. You can find him on Facebook as well under Obedie Williams and all the other social media channels. And just congratulations out there, man. Great job. And just thank you for being part of the show.
Yeah, Younder gang. Hey, and also on Instagram, if you got a big fish, a younder, pounders to younders. You catch a 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. Those are pounders. When you start getting those upper 3s, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, now you in the younder. You send me a picture of that younder, I'm gonna put you on my younder gang club, baby. You gonna
Yes, sir.
You on the if you ever trip to the Delta, look for the ambassador to the Delta, your favorite fisherman's favorite fisherman. I'm out here, baby. Hey, I want to thank you guys for having me, man. You guys know we family. So anytime y'all ever need anything from me, man, just drop a line. And when y'all get all the famous people and y'all keep on doing the show, you bring your boy back as a continuing guest.
Absolutely. Bro. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to it. Hey, we coming up there, bro. Don't.
Oh yeah, I will be there. I'll be there this year. I promise.
Hey,
before fall,
you just let me know. You just let me know it's all good. Red carpet being rolled out.
I'll chill on that houseboat doing my thing, you know. What I'm talking about?
Yeah. Hey, they got the TV in there, Rod. You can set the games up.
Yeah, already.
Yeah, already.
Appreciate you, bro, man. Thanks
Good
a lot.
stuff, brother.
All right, you guys, y'all take it easy.
All right.
All right, man. That's the show.
Always catch more, man. Seen it all. Caught them all. Still more. There's no limits to these big bass dreams.
You know the name, fishing is my claim to fame. See me catching everything and every fish will breed, man. On swim baits and jigs, drop shot rig. When I get off the water, can't wait to hit them again. My last post, I murked them, put a hurt in them. Big bass, dreams, go out working them. Set up shop on a hump and let the bait drop. Hide your wave action, watch me bring him to the top. I'm not tripping on what he got. I got spots, live wheel full, homie. See you at the dock, it's the real. You don't know how these big ones feel. Spent years putting in work, develop your skills. A couple of years on my hustle, man. Now I'm in a ranger gang. Merc on the back, that's facts. Bring it on plane. Me and you, oh no, we not the same. You a keyboard pirate, my man. That's hella lame. Track, instrument, you catch fish, get him in the net quick. Cast for another stick. That real deal, raw uncut. Still chasing PBs, cause it's never enough. My drag, instrument, catch fish, get him in the net quick. Cash for another stick. That real deal, raw uncut. Still chasing PBs, cause it's never enough.
Medium light, graphite for the subtlest bites. Some bright blue skies, not a cloud in sight. It's dynamite when I drop, and the school ignites. Pinning them down on the hop, cause he's taking off flight. I'm using all of my might, securely taming the fight. No fright, despite my Palomar is tight. The conditions is right, water maximum height. Wind slight, temp 60 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a technical thing when I'm finessing these greens and browns. Lit screens showing images down. Extreme sonar beams and circumference around. Big bass upright, belly all on the ground. Tungsten weight when it hits, just a small bait twist, drop the hook in the lift.
My drag, it's the bitch. That real deal, raw uncut. Still chasing PBs, cause it's never enough. My drag, it's the make you catch fish, get him in the net quick. Cash for another stick. That real deal, raw uncut. Still chasing PBs, cause it's never enough. My drag.